Hello everyone. A computer virus is a malicious application or authored code used to perform destructive activity on a device or local network. The code's malicious activity could damage the local file system, steal data, interrupt services, download additional malware, or any other actions coded into the program by the malware author. Every virus has a payload that performs an action. The threat actor can code any malicious activity into the virus payload, including simple, innocuous pranks that don't do any harm. While a few viruses have harmless payloads, most of them cause damage to the system and its data. There are 9 main virus types, some of which could be packaged with other malware to increase the chance of infection and damage. The 9 major categories for viruses are: boot sector virus, web scripting virus, browser hijacker, resident virus, direct action virus, polymorphic virus, file infector virus, multipartite virus, and macro virus. But today we don't talk deeply about computer viruses. Today we are going to talk about top 10 most destructive computer viruses of all time. Before the video, please like, share and subscribe. Okay, let's get into the video. Number 10 is Sasser, estimated damage $500 million. The Sasser worm was written by a 17-year-old German computer science student named Sven Jaskin. He was arrested at the age of 18 in 2004 after a $250,000 bounty was posted for the computer virus creator. A friend of Jaskin's tipped authorities that the youth had penned not only the Sasser worm but also the damaging Netsky.ac attack. Jaskin was given a suspended sentence after it was found he was a minor when he wrote the malware. The Sasser worm crashed millions of PCs, and though some reports put damages at $18 billion, the relatively low infection rate suggests a more likely cost of $500 million. Number 9 is CryptoLocker, estimated damage $665 million. Thankfully, ransomware attacks like the 2013 CryptoLocker virus have dipped since their 2017 peak. This malware attacked upwards of 250,000 machines by encrypting their files. It displayed a red ransom note informing users that your important files encryption produced on this computer. A payment window accompanied the note. The virus creators used a worm called the GameOverZeus botnet to make and send copies of the CryptoLocker virus. According to a report by security firm Sophos, the average ransomware attack costs a business $133,000. If we estimate that CryptoLocker hit 5,000 companies, that would put its total cost at $665 million. Number 8 is Slammer, estimated damage $1.2 billion. The SQL Slammer worm cost an estimated $750 million across 200,000 computer users in 2003. This computer virus randomly selected IP addresses, exploiting vulnerabilities and sending itself on to other machines. It used these victim machines to launch a DDoS attack on several internet hosts, significantly slowing internet traffic. The Slammer worm hit banks in the US and Canada especially hard, taking ATMs offline in many locations. Customers of Toronto's Imperial Bank of Commerce found themselves unable to access funds. Number 7 is Code Red, estimated damage $2.4 billion. First observed in 2001, the Code Red computer virus was yet another worm that penetrated 975,000 hosts. It displayed the words, "hacked by Chinese," across infected web pages, and it ran entirely in each machine's memory. In most cases it left no trace in hard drives or other storage. Financial costs are pegged at $2.4 billion. The virus attacked websites of infected computers and delivered a distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack on the U.S. White House's website, www.whitehouse.gov. In fact, the White House had to change its IP address to defend against Code Red. Number 6 is Zeus, estimated damage $3 billion. The Zeus computer virus is an online theft tool that hit the web in 2007. A white paper by Unisys 3 years later estimated that it was behind 44% of all banking malware attacks. By then, it had breached 88% of all Fortune 500 companies, 2,500 organizations total, and 76,000 computers in 196 countries. The Zeus botnet was a group of programs that worked together to take over machines for a remote bot master. It originated in Eastern Europe and was used to transfer money to secret bank accounts. More than 100 members of the crime ring behind the virus, mostly in the US, were arrested in 2010. It's not as prominent today, but some of the virus source code lives on in newer botnet viruses and worms. Zeus caused documented damage of $100 million. But the real cost in terms of lost productivity, removal, and undocumented theft is undoubtedly much higher. A $3 billion estimate, adjusted for inflation, puts this virus at a cost of $3.7 billion in today's dollars. Number 5 is WannaCry, estimated damage $4 billion. The 2017 WannaCry computer virus is ransomware, a virus that takes over your computer or cloud files and holds them hostage. The WannaCry ransomware ripped through computers in 150 countries, causing massive productivity losses as businesses, hospitals, and government organizations that didn't pay were forced to rebuild systems from scratch. The malware raged like wildfire through 200,000 computers worldwide. It stopped when a 22-year-old security researcher in the UK found a way to turn it off. Computers with out-of-date operating systems were hit especially hard. That's why security experts always recommend updating your systems frequently. Number 4 is ILOVEYOU, estimated damage $15 billion. The year 2000's ILOVEYOU virus worked by sending a bogus love letter that looked like a harmless text file. Like Mydoom, this attacker sent copies of itself to every email address in the infected machine's contact list. Shortly after its May 4th release, it had spread to more than 10 million PCs. The virus was created by a college student in the Philippines named Onel de Guzman. Lacking funds, he wrote the virus to steal passwords so he could log into online services he wanted to use for free. He reportedly had no idea how far his creation would spread. This virus is also known as love letter. Number 3 is CLES, estimated damage $19.8 billion. CLES is a close third on the list of the worst computer viruses ever created. With nearly $20 billion in estimated damages, it infected about 7.2% of all computers in 2001, or 7 million PCs. The CLES worm sent fake emails, spoofed recognized senders and, among other things, attempted to deactivate other viruses. As with other viruses and worms, CLES was released in several variants. It infected files, copied itself, and spread throughout each victim's network. It hung around for years, with each version more destructive than the last. Number 2 is Sobig, estimated damage $30 billion. The 2003 Sobig computer virus is actually another worm. It is second only to the Mydoom virus in its scope. The $30 billion figure is a worldwide total, including Canada, the UK, the US, mainland Europe, and Asia. Several versions of the worm were released in quick succession, named Sobig.A through Sobig.F, with Sobig.F being the most damaging. This cyber-criminal program masqueraded as legitimate computer software attached to emails. It disrupted ticketing at Air Canada and interfered with countless other businesses. Despite its widespread damage, the creator of the successful bug was never caught. Number 1 is Mydoom, estimated damage $38 billion. The worst computer virus outbreak in history, Mydoom caused estimated damage of $38 billion in 2004, but its inflation-adjusted cost is actually $52.2 billion. Also known as Novarg, this malware is technically a worm, spread by mass emailing. At one point, the Mydoom virus was responsible for 25% of all emails sent. Mydoom scraped addresses from infected machines, then sent copies of itself to those addresses. It also roped those infected machines into a web of computers called a botnet that performed distributed denial of service, DDoS, attacks. These attacks were intended to shut down a target website or server. Mydoom is still around today, generating 1% of all phishing emails. That's no small feat considering the 3.4 billion phishing emails sent each day. By that figure, Mydoom has taken on a life of its own, infecting enough poorly protected machines to send 1.2 billion copies of itself per year, 16 years after its creation. Though a $250,000 reward was offered, the developer of this dangerous computer worm was never caught. Here are some important tips for save your system from a virus. Use strong passwords. Keep everything up to date. Use antivirus software. Use a firewall. Install a pop-up blocker. Beware of email phishing scams. Educate your family and staff. Know the signs of infection. Consider additional security features. Until see you again with another video, good luck. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks for tuning into Top 10. We hope you enjoyed this countdown and learned something new. If you did, be sure to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to check back next time for another Top 10 list. Until then, see you later.